When people hear plastic surgery, they think of Botox, they think of a facelift. But here in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, plastic surgery is usually reconstructive surgery.
As it stands, there is a great need for plastic surgeons in Zimbabwe. We currently have 4 plastic surgeons in the entire country. We're about 17 million people. Burns is still a very big issue in the country. So for 4 surgeons to be doing the reconstruction is absolutely overwhelming.
I did it slightly. Okay. My name is Dr. Thandiwe Munaiwa. I'm a plastic surgery registrar in Zimbabwe. There's so many burns in Zimbabwe because we don't have enough electricity, so people use fire. We have such a huge burden of burns in this country, and children will be obviously vulnerable.
Across all parts of the world or anywhere in low-income countries, a child who suffers a burn has a lingering wound that eventually heals, but may heal with a terrible contracture that leads to quite a bit of disability.
If you don't manage the contractures, for example, someone comes back with a hand like this, they're no longer functional.
The child cannot write or cannot go to school.
It's not just physically fixing their deformity. There are challenges where their psychology is concerned, where their socioeconomic statuses are concerned.
When they can get a reconstructive surgery, they will actually be able to walk again or use their hands so they can hold a pencil. So that not only enables the child to then attend school and become a productive member of society, but the family as well, who was previously taking care of the child.
Reconstructive surgery is so important because it helps a patient to regain function. But currently in Zimbabwe, there are not enough doctors in the country.
There is a tremendous shortage of reconstructive surgeons globally. In sub-Saharan Africa, for example, there's only 1 reconstructive surgeon per 10 million people, and this is not limited to Africa. Today, nearly 90% of the world's population lacks access to surgical care.
There are a lot of patients who don't have access to quality medical care. So people who are working with the underprivileged want to give back to society, whose intention is to do good.
If you just mention ghetto, the first city that someone thinks about is Chitungwiza. That's where I grew up. We used to stay in a 2-roomed house. Some people sleep in the kitchen, some people sleep in the bedroom. I didn't sleep on a bed, and it was really challenging. There's no running water, so we had to travel like 5-6 kilometers to go and fetch water. So imagine you want to wash a lot of clothes, so it means you have to have many trips. I didn't have access to just space, just having your own space. I had to wait for everyone to sleep to be able to read. So I would come back from school, cook, and then sleep a bit, wait for people to sleep. Then I'll wake up during the middle of the night and read the whole night until maybe about 4. And then I'll sleep for an hour, 4, 5, and I wake up around 6 and bath and go to school.
Nothing good is expected to come out of Chitungwiza. No one would really think that you can get a doctor out of Chitungwiza.
Those early experiences in my life, they motivated me to pursue a career in medicine. There was just a lack of medical facilities, a lack of medical assistance in Zimbabwe. So that really pushed me.
What I truly admire about Thandi is she is passionate. She is very dedicated to plastic surgery and the reconstructive surgery and becoming a great surgeon, and she will give it her all.
Tinga was God sent. She's been there ever since day one. I see her as my mentor, and I'm so grateful for her.
As a female surgeon, you're working against the current. So it's a male-dominated field, and there's already this mindset where you have to prove yourself.
We are all in this together. We're trying to get the best out of each other.
You don't have to compete with the boys. They're probably not even as good as you. You just help each other out, everyone.
Even though women represent more than 50% of the world population, they only comprise 33% of the surgical workforce. And the situation is even more dire in low-income countries where we know that there's only 3 female surgeons for every 1 million people. So to increase access to surgical care worldwide, we need to close the gender gap. And this is why we are working with ReSurge International.
There are not many women in the medical field. So just getting to become a doctor on its own was a barrier.
The POWERS program, Pioneering Women in Reconstructive Surgery, is a program that was set up in order to identify women surgeons, women reconstructive surgeons in low-income countries.
We are identifying star trainees who will become reconstructive surgeons that will provide a lifetime of care throughout their career.
We have this deep value at ReSurge of local capacity building and making sure that the surgeons in the countries are the ones who are leading.
I was inspired by the women who are associated with ReSurge and their surgical camps around the world.
The POWERS program helps women surgeons who want to be involved in a career of reconstructive surgery.
Having trainers who are adept at not only doing surgery, but training an entire generation of plastic surgeons.
I was taught my duty is to teach someone else to be able to help more people, train more doctors, not only doctors, female doctors, so that there can be more of us helping these patients.
I want young girls to look at me and say, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought I could be a doctor, but look, she's my doctor. Why can't I be a doctor? So it just kind of opens up the way of thinking.
Zimbabwe is home. The girls in my country should excel. They can break any barrier and become anything that they want to be. I'm a woman. I'm a doctor. I'm a mother. And I'm a surgeon.
you.